Oliver G here with the Earful Tower. It's Monday, that means another episode, and this time, as usual actually, for the honeymoon season, it's my wife, Lena, and she's going to be talking us through what to pack for Paris to fit in with the Parisians. This is based on an article that she did that was very popular on the earfultower.com, and an article that stirred up emotions online and got people sending in a lot of emails, so she'll be here to answer those emails and talk us through the points. So this is a list for men and women to help you blend in with the locals. You won't feel like you're sticking out like a sore thumb. Fashion tips for your next trip to Paris. But first, a little music from Slim and the Beast. Let's go for a ride.
Jump on the back, hold on tight, let's do it together, let's go for a ride, let's go for a ride.
That was the sound of Slim and the Beast, a Paris-based band who, if you're new around here, wrote that song specifically for our honeymoon season. And when I say our, I mean myself and lovely Lena, who's sitting right across from me.
That's me.
How are you today?
Great. As usual.
Yeah. You're a positive person.
Yes, that's true.
But we're not here to talk about your positive persona.
My vibes.
Nor are we here to talk about Slim and the Beast.
No.
Successful Paris-based band.
Excellent band.
But what we also aren't here to talk about is the honeymoon season, because it's officially finished, but this is sort of like a purgatory episode.
We've been back for a while now.
Well, we haven't been back in Paris.
That's
and that's
true.
how I can justify.
Yeah, it's kind of lingering on a bit.
But tomorrow is Paris Day.
Back to Paris.
And that means that the normal episodes and season 5 will be soon to commence. But today what we're here to talk about is something
completely different.
Exactly. You're going to jump from your sidekick co-host shoes.
Yeah, my side carriage of the scooter.
And into
which we didn't have.
Into something comfier for you. In fact, today you're the expert that I interview.
Yeah, I'm. This is my home turf.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about, in case you haven't read the intro or listened to the intro, if you're just walking into the room hearing this bit now,
welcome.
Yeah, welcome. So if you didn't know, Lena's a shoe designer, a Swedish shoe designer based in Paris, and she wrote an article about a week ago. For the first time ever that you've written an article?
Yeah, it's my first piece ever.
Yeah, so I asked her, because a lot of people that listen to this show, I know, are people looking for fashion tips, and they have come to the wrong place if they think they're going to get them from me.
Well, it's something you haven't tackled at all
I've not even touched it. Even my own mother. Often
you don't touch her.
No. She often messages me and say, do something about fashion. Do something about, clothes.
Shopping, fashion, beauty tips,
and
whatever.
I say, I will, mother.
Yes, mother.
So here you go, Mum, and everybody else, because what happened is Lena wrote this article, sort of, the idea of it was what to pack for Paris so you can dress like a Parisian.
Yeah, the idea came basically because we... in the intro of the piece, I wrote, when you're a foreigner living in Paris, you end up receiving guests from back home on a regular basis.
You're just reading your article now.
Exactly, I'm citing myself.
Okay, whoa.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, okay.
And these guests always have the same. They always have the same questions before arriving, and they always wonder and they always ask, "What should I pack and bring to Paris?" Because I want to feel like I fit in and not. They just want to know.
Because Paris is a bit of a different city to a lot of other cities in that there are these connections. People think Paris, they think...
They instantly think fashion, chic.
Why is that?
Well, I think fashion, it kind of began in France, in Paris. It's got such a long history, but we can say the more modern part of it started in the 1920s with Coco Chanel. And she kind of definitely put Paris on the fashion scene forever.
A big hero?
Forever. Sounds very dramatic.
Is Coco Chanel a hero to you?
Of course.
When we were in Deauville, tying it back to the honeymoon season, you were like a crazy mad woman looking for her.
I know.
First shop.
I tried to retrack her steps.
What an anticlimax that place was, by the way.
It sure was.
It
was not a shop at all.
No, I think now it's like a shop for some Uniqlo or something.
It's a Sadig Voltaire shop right now.
Yeah.
Which is not at all the same as the interesting Chanel memorabilia
surprised
I
they
was
didn't
looking
make
for.
A museum or something out of it.
Yeah,
What was it? Her first shop that she...
It was her first shop where she actually started selling hats. She was a millionaire.
Ah, Milner.
She was a milliner.
So there's a word for all you guys as well. We like to learn words on the Eiffel Tower.
We do.
Milner. Anyway, so what you did is you put 6 tips together.
Yes.
And I've never done it this way, write an article for the site and then talk about it afterwards. So if you've read the article, you got a head start on this one. But you don't know what direction we're going to take
I'm going to get you the goods.
But what I figured is we'd go through some of the points. Imagine that you're talking to people out there who are thinking to come to Paris first, second time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I wanted to do this episode is because there was such great response to it.
Yeah, it was exciting.
And I want to read some of those comments and get your responses to them as we go. But what I thought we'd do to start is we'd sort of whip through the list.
Sure.
6 points pretty quick. And I'll just ask you questions about to sort of elaborate on them.
Okay.
And as a sort of, I mean, there are a lot of guys that listen to this podcast.
I know.
It's not just women.
I know. I sort of focused on the fairer sex, on the females, on the ladies.
Yeah, be careful. But there, you're going to check some tips in for guys this time around as well.
Yes.
But let's start with one point 1, pack smaller accessories.
Yes, because I think it's my number one tip ever when traveling. Because, well, first of all, when we traveled around, we packed ultimately light for the honeymoon trip, and you basically have 2 outfits each.
Did you see the time-lapse video that I did of us packing?
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
On
I'm really
Instagram.
impressed with ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so if you can just get away with having such a small luggage and very limited outfits if you pack accessories.
So the idea is that you wear the same clothes in different ways, but
same clothes, but you mix it up with accessories.
So let me hear some accessories.
But scarves, for one, is my personal favorite. You can just wear it in so many different ways. You can make a bag handle out of it.
French too, isn't it?
You can put it in your hair.
The guys wear scarves here too.
They do. They definitely do. So if there's a good tip for guys, bring scarves.
Those little ones.
Yeah, you can like the
foulard.
Yeah, exactly. Not the big, huge, woolly ones, unless it's very cold outside. But they wear scarves all around, all year round.
So imagine you're talking now to an Australian or an American guy, typical, pretty conservative with their fashion. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be wearing one of those silk scarves.
No, not a silk scarf, but you can get away with like a cotton, a linen scarf even, and take a muted color, maybe like a...
What does that mean, muted color?
Not like a bright orange or something. Something a little bit more quiet.
Right, okay.
And you can mix in a print in your outfits, something maybe you don't usually do.
Do you mean something I don't usually do?
Well... something.
I don't wear fashionable scarves.
No.
I wear keep your neck warm scarves.
Yes, you
Practical.
do. Above all.
It's amazing that you're with me, to be honest.
It's great. It's a never-ending project.
Oh gosh. Okay, so bring a biggish handbag is point 2.
It is, yes.
What about? What does that mean? As opposed to a small handbag?
Well, as opposed to a small handbag, which is, I guess, in fashion right now. With these tiny miniature handbags, are very cute. It's like a little jewel. But for practicality, you should definitely be a handbag that is big enough to bring an extra pair of shoes in as you're walking around. So if you go out for the night in stilettos or some really amazing shoes, for example, you tend to end up getting really tired and you might not get an Uber home. So you might have to walk and bring those ballerinas.
Yes. And when you say ballerinas...
Ballerina shoes.
Ballerina shoes.
Flat shoes.
Flat. Not actually shoes for ballerining.
No, you
I'm
should
just,
not.
I'm making sure everyone's included here.
You do what you want.
And what you've done is you put a picture in here of a Jean... How do you pronounce it? Dama?
Yeah?
So she's carrying a big... handbag there.
Yeah, it's like a sort of a
Who is
straw
she?
tote. She is one of Paris's greatest export at the moment in the fashion industry, fashion world. She is sort of a new Jane Birkin in a way, like the traditional. She's really playing the traditional girl card very well.
I would love to. I think I've once tried to get her on the show.
Yeah. You should
And
keep trying.
She said, "Look at my following. I've got 1 million people. I don't need exposure from you."
Oh.
She didn't actually respond.
She didn't respond. That was your.
Hey, but why would I get her on when I've got a fashion expert right in front of me?
True.
Number 3, pack for the rain.
Pack for the rain.
It's a sad truth about Paris, isn't it?
I know.
It rains.
I really love it.
Have you seen that Woody Allen movie, Midnight in Paris?
Of course.
It starts like 5 minutes of just shots of Paris in the rain.
Yeah.
With sort of French
Well, it's
cafes.
got the sweetest smell then.
Ah, does it? Yes, because it washes
away all the other stuff.
So you said it's a picturesque reality that it rains, but you shouldn't let it spoil your look.
Exactly. So, when the rain is a fact. And you just feel like, oh, I can't wear any of the outfits that I planned, like my amazing silk scarves or the little dresses or something. You need to be a bit more practical. I feel like I'm getting a lot of practical advice, but I guess that's good.
You are Swedish.
I
Swedes
am.
are practical.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, pack for the rain. You can still look, get a personal little touch in there with accessories.
Accessories too.
Yeah, it's my go-to tip.
So, I mean, obviously we need a...
So you can wear the raincoat, you can hide yourself under an umbrella, wear wellies.
So I understand. So the idea is you're going to be hiding yourself with the raincoats,
Exactly.
etc.
You basically hide your outfit.
But you put a big old earring on.
Exactly. So my little tip here was dress from the neck up. That's usually the more visible part. So again, you can wear a nice scarf, or you can wear like a cute headband or big statement earrings.
What about the guys? Guys wear hats sometimes in Paris. Have you noticed that?
They do. They do. That's it's kind of a risky choice. A hat.
Our good friend Fabian, who featured on the honeymoon trip.
Yeah.
We stayed with him in Brittany. He wears a hat.
And he wears it so well. So well. It's not everyone can pull off
a
hat.
Frenchman with a hat. What sort of hat do you call that?
It's a big, like, sort of fedora, but it's not a fedora. It's
broad
like flat,
rimmed hat.
Wide brimmed hat.
Yeah.
For the guys in general, I think it's easier because it takes so little to really look put together. So you can, if you add, like, for example, a scarf, or you to think about the colors you wear. So you wear, let's say, like monochrome colors. So like all black or all beige, or you can really make an impact in sort of an easier way. There's so much choice for women, and for men it's, I don't know, it's simpler.
Seeming we're halfway through the list, I figure we should once again touch on why this is important for Paris and not just for if
anywhere.
You're going to London. Why do I have to care when I'm in Paris? How am I going to feel if I dress like I do at the Sunday video store in Perth?
You mean flip-flops and board shorts?
Well, you know what I can say? I know I'm not the most fashionable guy, but I remember when I first moved to Paris, the wild difference compared to Australia or Sweden, where I'd lived before. That in Australia, for example, it's like, I don't know if you'd say it's totally acceptable, but you'll see someone go down to the supermarket or the grocery store wearing like a guy wearing a singlet and shorts and flip-flops, or even barefoot. People go barefoot.
They dress for comfort.
Yeah, 100%. And in the winter, they dress for comfort as well. But in Paris, central Paris especially, where we've lived, it is so rare that you'd see someone do that.
It
ever.
Is. Yeah, it's true.
Like, and so if you've got comfortable pajama-like clothes, whereas in Australia people do it, I don't know if they get away with it, but they do it. No one ever does it in Paris.
You would really stand out. Like, absolutely 100% stand out, because people do know, they do care what they look like, and there's something, that Parisian touch, they just know what they're doing.
Do you think they're judging us? Foreigners?
Maybe. Maybe. It's hard to know what they think.
If I were the kind of guy that got regularly invited to French dinner parties, I would be regularly nervous about what to wear, I think. I mean, I'm lucky I've got you, but like if I...
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think you should be, because obviously you will be there for your wit and your personality and your company.
I could just call in on the phone.
Yeah, Skype call. No, but I think as a guy, you should, in general, in Paris at least, you should steer clear from like printed t-shirts, lots of logos. It's very much understated and not... just keep to the neutral color palette. And
funny you say that, because that's point 4 on your list. Focusing on matching neutrals.
Exactly. It's so much easier to put together a good outfit when you have all these pieces, these separates that actually go together, all of them. So instead of having like a crazy bright orange patterned shirt to go with your like pastel pink slacks, I don't know. I'm just making.
I think I've ever heard you say slacks before.
Slacks, I don't know. Yeah, it's not usually in my world. No. Yeah.
So the idea is that you get neutrals, you get beige, black, white, navy.
Yeah, exactly.
And
denim, for sure.
And
always mix in a pair of, not so much bleached, kind of like untreated denim. The dark blue is very good for both men and women.
Right. And then you've got, I mean... Then you got a picture of two women wearing. They look stylish, but they're wearing very basic coloured clothes
Exactly.
in Père Lachaise, where you don't want to be wearing your orange jumpsuit or whatever you just said.
No, but if you think like it's not the same kind of street crazy wild culture as it is in many other countries.
New York.
Yeah, or
I
like
watched a
LA
documentary
or...
once about a photographer whose name has slipped my mind in New York. Used to cycle around, older chap, and took pictures of people like street style, like snapped them as they were walking along. And he sort of he picked out themes. So when everyone was wearing polka dots, he'd have his section in the, I don't know what it was, New York Times or whatever.
Oh, I like it.
And he'd be like, polka dots are in.
Yeah.
Are you saying that kind of stuff doesn't fly in Paris?
I mean, it does. You always get everything in a bigger city. You definitely get everything, and you'll find ultimately wear whatever you like.
Yep. Don't listen to any of this
that's
episode.
Like my top tip, actually. Don't listen to me.
Yeah.
No,
but I sorry to interrupt, but I do think a lot of people come to Paris are worried what to wear.
Yeah.
Well, I know because people email the show.
Yeah, and that's like, you should definitely not worry. Absolutely not, because the best thing you could do is feel comfortable and confident, and then you'll look good in whatever you wear.
Well, we've talked about this
Just
before.
Wear a smile.
Nothing but a smile.
Nothing
and
but
a
a
trench
smile.
coat.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. Fashion Week, which you're involved in often, and they have the people walking around on the streets, and photographers go crazy.
Yeah.
For especially people who wear more far out stuff.
Definitely.
And we've often talked about the idea of going down there. I especially want to do it.
Infiltrate.
Yeah, and wear something really ridiculous. I mean, like, attach a marble to my forehead.
Yeah, and just like wrap yourself in a rug and off you go.
Exactly.
Sort of thing.
Yeah. And high heels. But the point is...
You wouldn't be the craziest dressed.
Exactly. And that's the point, is people do get away with everything, especially at Fashion Week. I've seen some insane things.
You get some regular faces as well that always are the most far out. It's an elderly couple that show up to every show, and they have like different themes for each Fashion Week. So the last one I attended, they were like, high-vis kind of workman wear. They always make a political statement as well, and they have their little pug. No, they had a little dog with them. It's pretty interesting. You get some characters. But yeah, so they don't care what they wear. They don't care about matching neutrals. Ultimately, anything goes.
They'd probably laugh
Just
at your
have
list.
Fun. Yeah.
Number 5. I think this is another one for women. Don't forget your red lipstick. Talk me through it.
Well, it's, again, you can wear something that you've worn basically all day. You can wear your office attire or your tourist attire, like a simple, let's say a grey hoodie, some black jet denim, a pair of comfortable shoes.
That's what I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, I'm just describing what you're wearing. And just put on that red lipstick, and suddenly you just feel like you're ready for the evening, and it's the easiest way to dress up for Paris.
Do you know what the top comment was on your story when we put this on Facebook?
Do tell.
Preston Everett, which is a man, and he said, I guess I need to buy some red lipstick.
Well, Preston, you got it. He obviously got this list.
That's this is obviously a tip for women.
Yes, mainly.
And you got a picture of Sabina Sokol.
Exactly, yeah, which is another one of these young Parisians who are really making a statement on the fashion scene. Kind of tapping into the same kind of style, same kind of market as the previous girl we talked about, Jeanne, and with the whole new like modern Jane Birkin style.
You've got
Vintage denim, little cardigans, red lipstick.
Well, that's the one, and those sunglasses that are.
Exactly, oversized sunglasses.
Yeah, oversized, that's the word. I wonder, so if you're listening to this and you're not flicking through the story at the same time, I'll explain the picture. It's this young sort of blonde woman with her denim shoes and white t-shirt sitting in a cafe, on a cafe terrace with what looks like a Coca-Cola, a big handbag. I wonder if, and I think I said this on the show before, I wonder if people like that, if they're actually, that's real Paris. Or if it's become Paris and they're sort of doing it in an almost tongue-in-cheek way.
Because it's expected.
Yeah, like, look at me, I'm going to be really Parisian sitting here with a cup of tea.
But I don't actually think, I think she's doing, for me, that's real. Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
like you and me and our friends, we go out many times a week after work, and you gather at a cafe,
It's
at a
true.
terrace somewhere. You have a Coca-Cola
Yeah.
or some kind of drink.
We're not sponsored by Coca-Cola.
We are not sponsored.
Although, get in touch if you want.
But I mean, she's not overdoing it, is what I'm trying to say. She's
Right.
not sitting there in a marinier, like a
right.
striped T-shirt. She's not wearing a beret.
That's what you're wearing today.
It is incidentally what I'm wearing today. But yeah, she's not overdoing it. It's not like ridiculously stereotype Parisian.
Yeah. And
So I'd say it's very much real.
and the red lipstick is very apparent in that picture as well. Last point from your list, which we could call a viral list.
Yeah, we
Viral by
could.
my standards.
Uh-huh.
Leave your hairbrush at home.
Yes.
With a picture.
And this is not just, to save space in your luggage.
Tell me about it.
Because it's something, I don't know, this is something a little je ne sais quoi.
Ooh.
Yes, a little I don't know what
Yeah.
sort of attitude about the Parisians in general. They, not in general, but they just get away with, they have these immaculate outfits, pretty simple, pretty classic standard outfits. And then, add a red lip and somewhat of a tousled
Tousled, yeah.
head of hair.
Yep.
And it just looks so intriguing. It looks way sexier. It's just cool.
And you've got a picture of Lou Doilon.
Who is actually the daughter of Jane Birkin.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And she has suitably messy hair.
Exactly. So you just look, because there's something about the French. They just look like effortless, like they don't care, but they just happen to look amazing. So it could be something simple as that. So you wear something really well put together, but your hair is a little bit messy or a little bit undone, and it just looks great.
I've been doing that one for years.
I know.
How
You're a
about-
natural.
How about for the guys? Is it the same?
I think the same.
Yeah,
Same goes.
A lot of the young
Definitely.
guys have their
Yeah, you have like a messy head of curly hair, or whatever goes with you.
We want to be inclusive though, Lena.
Mm.
Maybe there's some chaps. There may be some blokes listening to this
There might be some
who are bald.
Yes, I know.
What are you going to say to them?
Well, obviously, you don't own a hairbrush because
Right.
that would be ridiculous. And just be yourself.
Be yourself.
Just be yourself.
They can maybe wear the hat.
Just tussle up your eyebrows a bit.
So here's some comments that came through. This is weird because, like I said, we've never done that article before
Yeah.
the story, so we've already got feedback to read out.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So, the lovely Lena has such great advice. There are 5 comments on the article. You'll see a theme.
Yeah.
You ready?
Okay.
Great advice. Fantastic advice. Perfect advice. I'm a huge fan of accessories. Great advice. How fun. Great advice.
Great advice. Copy paste.
So, guys, commenters, I would like you to step up your game a little bit, because if you want me to read out their comments, no. But on Facebook,
That's really nice,
on
though.
Facebook,
I
there's a
take
lot
that.
of there's a lot of interaction, and just if you'll allow me to just take a quick stop from the fashion to talk about Facebook, I was
for
listening to another podcast. I'll name it because it's great, Song Exploder, where they talk about music and they sort of dissect songs. Great podcast. End of the episode, he says, be sure to follow us on Facebook. I was like, yeah, great, okay. Went to Facebook. All they do is just post new episode up once a week.
What? So if you're already a listener, it's basically...
They got 18,000 followers, and it's like, come on, you got to offer a little bit more than that. And the reason I bring it up is not to detract anything from Song Exploder, which is a great podcast.
Yeah, don't hate.
No, I don't hate it at all.
No.
It's to say that on the Facebook page for the Earful Tower, there's like 5 times as much stuff as there is in the episodes
Yeah, it's
that we're listening
beefy.
to. And then there's comments
Meaty.
that we, I'm going to read them out to you.
Oh, okay, exciting.
Here's a big point that some would say, your critics,
Mm-hmm.
your critics would say, you missed something here later.
Okay, yes. I probably missed a lot because there's only 6 points in my list.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But you did decide to do 6 points. Glenda Patterson.
Okay,
Hi, Glenda.
hit me, Glenda.
She says, it's the footwear that's the challenge because there's so much walking and standing. I'm guessing her tone.
Okay.
There's so much walking and standing. I have to travel with boots, shoes, and hiking walking shoes. Sitting in a cafe with hiking boots does not work, but my feet need the support. There's no question, but I think you can guess the question.
Yeah, what what footwear to bring.
Yeah, because Paris is a walking city. I mean, the Earful
It
Tower,
really is.
all they ever talk about is walking around.
Well, it all depends on what kind of trip you're planning or what you would like to get out of your trip. So if you want to do a walking trip, like discover Paris on foot, you should definitely, no doubt, bring comfortable shoes. Like so many Parisians walk around in trainers all day, every day, all night, every night. Because it's definitely a big part of their wardrobe. Everyone walks. That's what you do in Paris.
Yeah.
You walk. So you don't worry, you'll fit in.
You know who agrees with Glenda? Madeline. Madeline Luce. She says, by all means, wear scarves, red lipstick, and carry a large tote. Earful Tower tote bags still on sale. But let fashion end at your ankles if you're a tourist. So she's quite cut it off.
Yeah.
Basically, she says, for me, my ugly Dan-skin clogs took me all the way to the top of the Arc. I suppose she means the Arc de Triomphe, and thousands of steps over all types of terrains. And then she says, love your feet, by which I think she means everyone love your feet. And I don't think she means, like, Lena, love. I love your feet.
But I might take it as that. I might take it as...
But
of course, again, they
although
do
I disagree with the fashion ends at your feet.
Yeah.
I think you wouldn't be in business as a shoe
I
designer.
would definitely be out on the street.
Which we haven't talked about, by the way. Deuxième Studios, your shoe brand, which we'll talk about at the end of the episode.
Yes, sure.
But it's true. You've got to...
Yeah, of course. Love your feet. By all means, you should definitely stay comfortable if you're planning a walking holiday. If you're planning to just do like jump in cabs from cafe to restaurant and do a very limited amount of walking, you can focus more on your footwear.
Do you want to hear some more comments?
Yes, please.
So there's one from Harry
Okay.
Cooksey. No advice for men? I'll be in Paris next week, so I'll leave the hairbrush.
I do like that one.
But we answered that already.
Maybe I need to write another list for men.
Yeah,
like
that would be really cool.
one.
Guys, if you're listening, if you're a man and you're listening to this episode, or if you're a woman and you got a husband, I think if I get enough messages for requests for it, we'll do it. So let your email do the talking, people. What about Brenda Prowse?
What has she got to say?
She messages, it's kind of a longer one, so
Yeah?
I might skip bits, but
Okay.
or read it quickly. My American girlfriend stayed with us for 2 weeks in Paris last Christmas. She only brought one carry-on size bag, but looked chic at all moments because her one black dress, one pair of black wool slacks, this word's everywhere,
a la mode.
and one black long skirt were paired with either a black sweater or 2 other long sleeve tops, one white, one red. She wore black flat leather boots, long black wool coat, long skirt, and a black leather vest on the plane. Her accessories, great earrings, several different silk scarves, rainproof hat, pair of lined leather gloves. She carried a waterproof, sleek but roomy zippered bag, and
Tongue twister.
yeah, in a deep dark... This is actually the most liked comment, by the way. In a deep dark green colour that matched her manicure, bright red lipstick, and one gorgeous artsy necklace completed the accessory list for Christmas and New Year's Eve and our soiree at Harry's Bar.
Well, I think it's a perfect example because she basically wore a lot of black and focused on the accessories. So if you want to travel with just carry-on luggage, focus on mainly one color, and then accessorize away.
Okay, we'll get through 3 more. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Quickly, you ready? I've been living in Paris for 1.5 months now. The only fashion advice I got is wear all black and people will immediately identify you as a Parisian.
Well, that's very stylized advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
We agree with it, or?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Here's one I didn't really understand. It's from Marie. Maybe Marie? Clever Facebook name.
Very clever.
I wish I can come to Paris. Anyone who invite me, Mercy.
That's...
Yeah,
I like it.
we invite
take
you.
Take your chances. Just go for it.
We invite you, but we don't have a home.
We don't at the moment.
But here's the invite, Marie. Come to Paris.
Come to Paris.
Come on, guys. Get a bit more creative with your
Yeah, but, she just want to get an invite.
Here's one on Instagram from Lida, regular listener to the show. Big fan of the
lovely
show.
Lida.
Lovely Lida.
Yes.
She says, my next trip to Paris, I want to hire you, Lena, to be my personal stylist.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
See that happening?
That's interesting.
Okay, well, we'll leave that on the interesting table.
No, but No, that sounds
That could
really
be fun.
That could be really fun.
There you go. Okay, Lena.
I think that could be really fun.
Lovely
actually.
Lena and lovely Lena take on Paris together.
Take on the Paris shopping streets together.
Okay.
Why not?
All right. There you go. Shall I give you her contact details?
Go for it.
I think we're going to wrap things up because time has got away from us as usual.
Again.
Yeah. But so if people sort of liked the sound of that list and wanted to read it, it's on the earfultower.com with all the stories. If you're listening to this today on Monday when it's released, then it should be right near the top of the site. Otherwise, it will be in the show notes below. Just to reiterate, if you want to hear a similar list, if you want to hear it or read it, then for men, get in contact. Bombard me with emails and we'll do it.
Yeah.
And lastly, you, Lena, who are you?
Me.
Besides co-host of the Earful Tower honeymoon season and
irregular... your wife.
Yeah, that's
you should know me.
And contributor to the earfultower.com.
Exactly. Yes.
You're a shoe designer.
I am. That's my trade by day. By night, I'm Batman.
So talk me through it. I do this with it, even though you're my wife and this feels weird to promote you, I do it with any guest.
Yeah, of course.
So you make shoes.
So I started up my own shoe company called Deuxième Studios.
And Deuxième is...
means the second.
Yes.
Which the other.
I thought you were going to say andra, the Swedish word.
I think I started on that.
Which is where we lived when we moved to Paris.
Exactly, so hence the name.
Started
up almost 2 years ago, and started by selling online, and it went pretty well. I started with basically one shoe model, and that sold really well. And then I felt brave and encouraged, so I put out a few more models, and here we are. Almost 2 years later, and I'm still going, and it's just growing. It's great.
Still mostly online, though you can find it in shops around the world, as I understand.
Yeah, you can find it
I saw them in Manhattan.
I know.
That was pretty cool.
It's a really cool shop.
But mostly online is the best way to get it. And I see that a few listeners to the show have been buying your shoes, which is really lovely.
It's exciting.
Thanks
I'm really happy.
And thanks for sending the little messages. I'm looking at you, Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland guys. Yeah.
Anyway. This is sort of marks the end, I hate to say it, of your regular appearance on the Earful Tower.
Oh my gosh.
Because, back to Paris means new and exciting guests.
Yes.
Coming up.
New season for you.
Yep. But
new adventures.
The idea is that me and you, it's all on Patreon, but the idea is that soon you and I will start doing episodes for the Patreon listeners, Thursdays.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
the
excited.
Idea. Yeah. Anyway,
what will we get up to?
Yeah. Maybe that's where we could start with the tips for guys. But anyway, plenty of guests coming up. We've got, if you're not in the book club already, join that, because big news today is David Leibovitz, the author of 100,000 books, but most recently L'Appart, The Apartment, has agreed to be a book in the book club.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That's huge news.
But not yet. But if you've already read it, maybe consider getting ready to read it again. If you haven't read it,
I think
also
it'll be work up some questions, because you will be interviewing.
But this is me getting organized. This is for like December or January, and John Baxter soon after that with his new book. It's all starting to take shape.
Exciting time.
If you hate books, don't worry about everything that I've just said, and keep listening to the podcast every Monday as always. Any last words, Lena?
Any last words?
Yeah.
Don't shake the ladder.
All right, on that note, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next Monday.
Okay, bye.